Okay, that was easy. That should start it on YouTube. This should start it on Twitch. And if I'm not mistaken, we should be live on both platforms right now. Alright, cool. Okay. Greetings, ladies and lads. Welcome to another painting stream, the last painting stream of the week, as I'm very sure that I won't stream tomorrow, or on Sunday. Yeah, I'm happy to start painting the Light of ELTHARION. So this miniature right here, a miniature that I got ages ago, that I've made a great video about, and I want to serve you on a literal cake tray the pieces that we will need to start the paint job. Alright, so we of course have, whoops, hang on. Wow, that's bright, hang on. Okay, so we of course have the cape and the helmet, the body on the rocks, and of course his left arm with, you know, his shorter sword, his secondary weapon. Our mission today will be to get him, you know, again, at least to the wash stage. If we have some time while he dries, we will continue on painting Darok from the Cursed City as we started yesterday. And yeah, I hope we get him done completely. I don't quite remember how much time I took last time I painted this guy, but it shouldn't be too much. Alright. So just, you know, getting a message from my girlfriend. Gotta check on that. What was the other thing? Oh yeah, right. It's been quite a long time that I painted this miniature, so let me quickly just have a look at my guide that I did all these years ago. And we will just follow the guide more or less to the letter, as, you know, it still holds up very nicely. All the tricks are, you know, all the tips and tricks are precisely how they should be. And the result is, of course, epic as well. Alright, we start off with a purple color. No, that's wrong. Which color did we start off with? Of course, with Barakna Burgundy. Okay. So, we will have some wet blending action today. Some wet and wet painting. Which is, you know, which sounds a lot more serious than it is. I'm sure we'll get there very nicely. We'll get it done very nicely. This miniature was a very cool experiment when I painted it, I think 2 years ago now, and it's still, you know, I still love it very much. I think he looks great. I think, honestly, this is one of the few miniatures where I think, okay, the result looks a lot better than what Heavy Metal put out, if we try and compare it. So this would be the paint job by Heavy Metal, which is, you know, very clean, but also very boring. We basically are where Heavy Metal is, with just, you know, the priming, so I think that's rather boring. And the thing is, the color scheme that I used for my ELTHARION is precisely the one that GW has as well. So this is a color scheme that GW came up with. I really don't know why they went with the other one for ELTHARION. Maybe it's a marketing thing. I don't know. I think it's a little bit disappointing. So I'm, you know, painting him in a more lore accurate light. We start the stream 10 minutes late, for which I'm very sorry. But we'll be here for 1 hour longer than usual. So hopefully that'll make up for it. Just taking some Barakna Burgundy and quickly painting, you know, starting on the legs, painting the loincloth, and of course the cape that's currently flowing behind him. You know, I usually say that we don't have to worry that much when doing these first little steps, though I would encourage you, if you have an ELTHARION of yourself, to try and avoid getting paint on the armor in this stage. Simply because you want to have the armor basically like in a very beige, light beige, Ushabti bone kind of style. And all those imperfections would be rather annoying. Well, many thanks for all the people watching the stream right now. I hope you guys have had a good week, and now can finally start to relax as the weekend is coming in. For me, the weekend will be filled with a lot of painting, a lot of preparations for Christmas, and yeah, it's just lots and lots of uni work that I need to catch up on very, very quickly. Really need to get my act together. Especially because right now I should probably already be writing on my diploma, which will, you know, the deadline is in 2 years, so, you know, I had friends who started their diploma 2 months before handing it in, and they, you know, passed and had a good grade. But I have a little bit of a very complicated thing in mind that I want to do, so for that I need all the time and preparation that I can get, basically, and I should really start as soon as I can and get these bigger projects out the way that are just accruing and piling up. So, I still haven't had a look at the new reveals though. Quite a shame. Once we stopped doing these reveal streams, Feinrich and I really got out of the loop with all that. So, the front part will most likely need a second coat. That'll be a concern of that I'll take care of in a few minutes. Let me quickly check. So I did paint the underside black, right? Yes, second coat. And of course... Alright. So while the upper side dries, we'll paint the underside in just a pure acrylic black that I have on my desk right here. It's not Abaddon black, it's not, you know, Chaos black or something, it's just regular acrylic paint, which is very cheap and will probably last me a lifetime in this bottle. But, you know, it has its drawbacks here and there. Though it dries very matte, which is quite nice. It has a very deep color, which is precisely what we want for this sky. So, today's livestream will, by the way, not be made available as a VOD on YouTube. Because I want to see how the algorithm will react to that, how my stats will look if I don't have it up on, like, as a VOD. Or if my stream numbers only count if I have it as a VOD. Yo, happy Friday! Happy Friday to you too, Tooth Fairy. Nice! Glad to see you here, man. Yes, the work week is already done, like the regular work week, the business days. And now it finally is time for, you know, us to hopefully get some rest on the weekend. It's not only, by the way, it's not only a regular, it's not any regular old Friday, it's the Black Friday. I'm just remembering that as I'm applying the black paint on here. Cutie Curse says, just found your channel and you're doing really good and stunning painting. Greetings from Austria. You got our support. Oh wow, that's so sweet. Thank you so much. Oh wow, QLT Curse. Thank you so much. Wow, okay, that's so sweet. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that. Rest, what's that? We must paint? Oh yeah, sure. I'll paint the entire weekend, but not on stream. I have to actually, you know, get to another video. If I want to have at least one more video before the year ends, and once the holidays start kicking in. So, for example, next week, my little brother, and my father's birthday are like right after one another, and after those two are done, it's already Saint Nicholas Day. So, yeah, it's the party week in my family, basically. Okay. You're welcome. So sweet, man. Thank you so much. Yeah. I've been to Austria a couple of times. It's a very lovely country. So, though I've mostly explored... It's Canton. I've mostly explored Canton. A lovely landscape down there. Though, you know, I come from northern Germany, so I'm definitely not used to all the mountains and hills. God damn it. Can you guys... Okay, Theinrich sees that I'm streaming and it's just he's literally sending me beep boop in the text messages to harass me. And you. That guy. Though he did send an interesting message which might entail that we will keep the ball rolling on this one or stream tomorrow again in the evening. I don't know. So Thandrick and I, you know, usually do our reveal streams where I look a little bit... Ah, there he is. That man. The wild gun himself. I hope, you know, you've been very busy not answering any of my messages so far. So, you better be working on your video, dude. Alright, this first part is a little bit, nice place. What's your Halloween painting? Nice done. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, the Halloween paint jobs are always, I don't know what happens on Halloween. Like, it's not like I celebrate it or anything. But, like, something happens every Halloween that I just get, like... that I just lock in and paint just very cool miniatures, like every Halloween. Glad that you like it. I put a lot of effort into that video, and I do want to have it serve as my new benchmark for the videos that'll come. I hope I can keep up the standard. After we're done with the... Hang on, is that right even? Nah, not really. After we're done with the acrylic black, we will... I will just take a quick look on my phone, to see what Theinrich wrote me. That madman. And, yeah. Oh, there he is. No, it's another... another message. Now they come out of the woodwork, huh? Now they come out of the woodwork. God damn it, I'm so... Well, it is prime time for gaming right now. Also, I let you in a little secret. My girlfriend isn't here tonight, so technically I am allowed to stream, like, okay, I'm allowed to stream for as long as I want anyways, but I actually can stream for as long as I want. Which, you know, is why we stream for at least an hour longer than usual, so till 10 o'clock CET today. And, you know, let's just see what comes around. Maybe we'll do longer, maybe we'll do a follow-up stream. Tooth Fairy says, I watched some lore videos yesterday for the Death Guard. Such a cool backstory to them. Oh yeah. The Death Guard has a very interesting backstory because, like, as the Horus Heresy in 40k or 30k, you know, starts with basically Erebus, you know, getting his way with Horus. The same basically happened on a more microscopic scale in the Death Guard with Typhus, basically selling out his legion to Papa Nurgle. And like, I think he convinced Mortarion or something. I'm not that well versed on the Death Guard lore. I need to look that up more. Ooh, GF is done. You're gonna get wild tonight? Oh yeah, I don't know what I'll do. You know what? I could do something really funny. I'll think about that. I'll think about that. Okay. I think we're done with the black. So now it's time for a second coat of Baraknar Burgundy. If I caught the message from the corner of my eye correctly, I think Theinrich wanted to tell me that he would actually be down to do another reveal reaction stream, basically, like reveal discussion stream. Oh, cool. Okay. Oh, he's... Oh, that's weird. Oh, okay, no, the other message was in our friends Discord. Okay, never mind. Right. In that case, he still has to answer me. If he ever wants to do a stream like that again. They are quite fun, these streams, but the reason I don't do them on YouTube too often is because I'm still not sure if people actually like them or not. As you know, in the back of my mind, I still feel like they are comparatively cheap content. Compared to, you know, the videos that I have to script, edit, and film. Okay. Oh, I forgot the left side of his cloak, but we're working with a very nice, rich burgundy. I'm very glad that I have that. I don't even know why I bought that. It was not for this miniature, I'm very sure. So, ULT, if you're still here, what kind of miniature projects are you painting? What is your current miniature project, or are you just here for the entertainment part? Because, you know, I think I have a couple of people come tell me that they actually watch it for the entertainment value. And have no idea of Warhammer, basically. Never painted a miniature. Which is also fascinating. Okay. So, I think, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember my guide correctly, now is the time where we have to immediately do some wet blending. Yes, I'm right. Okay. That's okay. We can definitely do that. Thankfully, I have the reference right here. Yes. Actually, we have to first take some watered down burgundy on our brush and catch the lower folds right here on his skirt. It's not going to make it like that huge of a difference, but I still think it's nice. And of course, especially on the back fold, right here. Okay. next up is the Calidor Sky for the blue highlights of the cloth. Okay. This will probably look a lot brighter than it actually is. Than it actually will, you know, turn out as. So don't you worry if you think you're going a little overboard. It'll be fine. This is a tried and true method executed by people who think themselves professionals. So don't you worry. We will work this out. Again, the look I'm going for is very much lore accurate to the way that he's, you know, his art is painted in the book, in the codex. And I still can't wrap my head around the fact that Games Workshop themselves doesn't, like, present him this way. Just basically catch the upper folds and leave the purple in the recesses. Doesn't have to be, you know, pin perfect and precise. It's more for vibe, right? It's more of a vibe we're going with. And of course the back, as the purple still dries, we just blend it right in, wet and wet. And if you're trying this for the first time, just do it like I do and start with the lower half of his body. That way you get some time to experiment on, you know, your wet blending technique and the colors that you want to use, especially if you want a different color scheme than what I'm using. Simply because this whole area will be mostly covered up and left in the shadows after we drape the cape over it. So this leaves a little bit of wiggle room for us to see what sticks, you know? Can you guys see that? Channel your inner Bob Ross. Yeah. It's okay to make some mistakes from time to time. They're not mistakes, they're happy little accidents. I saw a video once of, you know, the corridor crew, so some VFX specialists basically reenacting a Bob Ross painting. Like, they watched the guide and their task was to basically model the scene that he was painting in real time as he was, you know, painting it on paper, which is very hard. Like, I think I would even struggle just painting a Bob Ross painting in the time that he takes to describe it. So maybe I should do that. The Inquisitor says, embrace your inner Bob Ross as well. I was reading this and I was like, did I address it not correctly? No, I did. Okay, perfect. Well, hello. Glad to have you here as well. I hope your work week was great, my man. How are you doing? Everything is alright. As you know, we come closer to Thanksgiving every time. Is Thanksgiving already over? I don't know, I'm not an expert on American holidays. US American holidays, that is. Well, I'm not an expert on South American holidays either. Good but not too good? I mean... Alright, I think that's a fair assessment. Some work-related stress or Christmas-related stress. Both definitely understandable. Especially, you know, when Christmas comes around and you don't know what you... It was yesterday? Okay, Thanksgiving was yesterday? Well. That makes a lot of sense. I didn't wish my American friends a proper Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Some gobble gobble, or how they do it. Okay. And we're basically already done with the lower coat. The camera does pick up a few not inconsistencies, but inaccuracies, basically. So we'll pick up a little bit of little bit of Baraknar Burgundy to go from the recesses up the coat and, you know, blend the two colors together as we move, basically, to make the transition a lot smoother. Alright. Again, most of this will be covered up by the cape later on, but I do wanna, you know, warm up for when we get to the actual cape. As it's not every time that I do this. Though this is my third ELTHARION model, I think. Either my third or my fourth. I think it might actually be my fourth. Damn, okay, yeah. Shit, I can't mess this up now. I need to know. I need to know if I do this right. I need to stick the landing. Okay, the underside is also taken care of. Now, I think... is it already time for the cape? Might very well be. Yeah, it is precisely time for the cape. Okay, easy. ELTHARION is such a quick paint job. Like, again, I need to stop with all the self-praise all the time, but god damn did I cook on that video. That painting guide is just... Straight with it. Alright, ooh! Sorry, my headpiece fell out. And again, when we come to the wash stage with ELTHARION, so for all the people who wonder where I got the picture from the thumbnail, this is what he will look in the end when we're done with him. I already painted two more that look just like this, so we should be good. And it really is not hard to achieve this result. Trust me, it really is not. Arrogance is the first step to chaos? Well... yeah, definitely. So, okay. I need to watch myself, is what you're saying. Can't get lost in the sauce. Who was it again who asked the question if sometimes it's better to paint disassembled models? It might have been Toothfairy, actually. Or Tascobi, I don't know. One of the two. And the answer is like... you know, I answered that most of the time I paint miniatures completely assembled. Though not the Light of ELTHARION. The Light of ELTHARION is a lot easier to paint disassembled. Or like not completely disassembled, of course, but like in the free parts that we have him right now. So cape and upper body with torso, legs and lower and all that stuff separated from another. And of course the arm that you see. That thing is just annoying. Well. Inquisitor says I always paint unassembled or at least limbs off. Really? Always? You always do that? Damn. For all of your miniatures, but you like, don't you mostly paint like, okay, not mostly, but For example, the Space Marine that you painted in the color scheme of my Legion, in one of the color schemes. Did you paint that completely disassembled? Oh, really? Yeah, okay. To each their own. Like, I know, like, a friend of mine, JD, definitely does the same with his Marines, at least in some part. He always puts the power packs on last and stuff like that. Though, you know. He sometimes brags about painting, like, for an hour. Like a detail for an hour. Only for it to be covered up with, like, for example, a power pack or something like that. And he's just like, well, at least I know it's been painted. And I'm like, okay, I know what you mean. But that's insane. But again, I get what he means. I'm a strong advocate of, you paid for the whole miniature, let's just paint the whole miniature. Inquisitor says, yeah, I did the head first, then the shoulder plates and chest, then arms and legs. Power pack was last. I think it was this order. It shifts. Alright, okay, hey. You did a very clean job, so, you know, definitely works for you. I of course don't do this because otherwise you wouldn't get these sweet before shots on the turntable. I will paint some miniatures disassembled next year, but again, that'll be a project that'll probably be done around like April or something. Maybe rather March. Okay, let's get the finish a little bit smoother. We will... I painted the whole... I paid for the whole mini, so I paint every millimeter of it. Yeah, I mean, fair enough, again. I do think that is definitely better than, you know, only painting half or just doing 3 colors. You need to get as much mileage out of these guys as you can. Alright. And as the color is of course still wet, we have immediately take the Calador Sky and pick out the folds on the back, the raised parts. We don't wait for the color to dry, we don't do another coat to smoothen it out. We just go straight in. All the rest will come later. Now I only need to make sure that I really pick up the folds and not gloss over any by accident. Though even that can be corrected with some more Baraknar Burgundy later on. Okay. It's a very rough and dirty paint job for such a clean and pristine miniature. Don't get, like, make no mistake, but this is precisely how we want it. Exactly how it needs to be. Okay. Maybe I need to catch up on some Age of Sigmar lore as well. I'm painting so many Age of... Oh, hang on, there's so much text. To avoid problems by this method, I always put the parts together with the dog orc thing. Oh, that thing, yeah. It looks like an unassembled Iron Man where the part holds every single that isn't connected, but resembled. Yeah. The final form enough to see what you need to do? Yeah, definitely. I get which thing you mean. It's one of the wildest gadgets for painting miniatures that you can get. Though I don't have that. I don't know, I don't really see, like for me personally, the way I paint, I don't really see much sense in getting it. So I'm glad that you get use out of it, because I wouldn't know how I would make it work for me. But yeah, it looks like a cool gadget for the advanced painter. Yeah. Okay. We will have to do a second coat. I don't remember if I needed to do that in the original or not. But while that is, while that dries, let me quickly, come around this edge here, this curve. Just get a little bit better coverage. We will take some acrylic black again and paint the inside of this cloak. Very straightforward. Again, it just needs to be completely black, and then we'll pick out the folds with some dark burgundy again. And we'll even have to do some yeah, we'll have to go a little bit crazy on the edge that you can see, but that'll follow in a second. The Inquisitor says, I also use the little tips where you can glue the smaller parts. The base of my dog ock thing is stuffed with those things. Mostly little skulls and decorations I put on the base later. Alright. God damn, man. Alright, okay. Interesting work thing. Oh, hang on. Tooth Fairy says, I was talking to my buddy yesterday. He plays orcs. His paints look awesome, but he doesn't paint the bottom of his vehicles. He doesn't paint the bottom of his vehicles? Dude, that's straight criminal. Hang on, what do you mean he doesn't paint the bottom of his vehicles? He doesn't paint the bottom? So he doesn't even prime it? Is it still like the plastic gray? Or is it at least primed? They are factory gray? What? Okay. Holy shit. Yo. Inquisitor, that man right there. Holy shit. Wow, that alright. The thing is, like, on the one hand I understand him. On the other hand, it borders on psychotic. Holy shit. He's like, you'll never see it. Yeah, I mean, again, fair enough to him, but he doesn't even prime it? That's crazy. Like, I get it, right? But to just know that there's an unprimed part on my miniature, oh my god. Unholy. I'm like, but what about when someone holds it to admire the paint? They turn it over and immediately throw up. Such ungodly abomination. That's straight up illegal, yeah. That's not tournament friendly, that's not tournament legal. What will Mr. James Workshop say to that? Wow. Dude, that's crazy. I've never even heard about that. Like, of course, again, it makes sense and it is like a fair enough statement, but no primer even? I feel like that's almost like a hazard for the rest of the paint job, because technically speaking, they could, you know, it could start some flaking. That's like, okay, that's a very minor risk, but it feels so wrong. Tell your buddy that that's the exact reason why humanity doesn't want to share the galaxy with the greenskins and like other Xenos. That's straight up criminal. He leaves it factory gray. I think the reason I'm reacting so allergic to that is that I have like a Magnus the Red from eBay on my shelf, and I do want to make a miniature makeover about him. Though, you know, there are some parts where the painter just only primed it, right? He only primed it and then he painted the feathers, for example. But the lowest feathers, like when you have it at a perfect angle, you can't see the feathers that he didn't paint. But the second you turn it around, it's just so obvious. And I'm just like, why didn't you paint like these last 3 feathers? It's like, it's not even like they're small or something. I don't know. He did tell me some lore about the orcs, another cool race, how they just will things to happen. Yeah, I mean, fuck, is he willing? The will is so the will of the orcs is so strong it makes my voice crack. Is he willing his paint job into being? Are his vehicles painted red because like orcs paint their vehicles certain colors for them to gain certain abilities, because they just, you know, think that red makes things go faster, for example. So, is he painting his vehicles red? And if so, is he failing movement and speed checks because they're not painted all the way red? Because then I would say, damn man, you brought this on yourself. If you guys play a game together and the orc player like fails a march order with his vehicle, just tell him straight up it's because he didn't paint the underside red. If he would have, the vehicle would be faster. That's crazy, dude. Oh. I'm of course, you know, a little bit overreacting, but damn, dude. Factory gray is actually insane. Factory gray is not alright. At least prime it, dude. A part of me wants to see this crime against painting. He could have at least painted it violet. I mean, yeah, the violet thing. Again, I get that he doesn't want to... So conflicted on that. Yeah, that's so funny. He told me a story where these orcs had to fix something on their spaceship. They were fixing the problem in space without a suit until one asked why they weren't wearing a spacesuit, and they immediately died. Yeah, there's so many great stories. Like, there's a very good animation about some guardsmen that hold a position against the orcs. And the orcs just, you know, keep piling on. The wave doesn't end. And at one point, you know, the human defenders start running out of ammunition. But the company commander, who, you know, knew that the red, like, this thing about the will of the orcs, just, you know, took up his bolt pistol, pointed it at the nearest orc, and just yelled, "Pang," really, really loud. So, bang! And the orc just dropped down dead, because he thought, in his mind, that, you know, the guardsman still had ammunition in his bolt rifle. In his last pistol, whatever. And so the other guardsmen saw this and also just, you know, just held up their last rifles and yelled, "Pang, bang, 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 bang." And that's how they kept the orcs at bay. Until one group of orcs arrived. Yeah, pew pew, right? Until one group of orcs arrived who didn't want to fall over from all the banging. So they were all very close together, right? And the guardsmen didn't know how that was possible, because, you know, they, in their mind, why aren't these orcs, like, are they not believing the shtick? But no, as soon as the orcs came into, like, listening distance, the guardsmen could hear the orc, you know, chanting, I'm a tank, I'm a tank, I'm a tank, I'm a tank, I'm a tank. And that's how they kept resisting to the last rifle fire. It's a funny story. It's definitely not, like, it's not exactly how the orcs stuff works. But I think it's a good illustration of something. Or like the story that Bricky was telling. For example, like you're going with your speeder through the desert, and the speeder runs out of fuel. And so the driver says, oh Zog, it's out of fuel, we don't have any gas. And then the captain orc smacks him in the head and says, yes we do, I filled the gas tank up earlier when we were still in the base. And the other orcs are like, oh yeah, right, you did do that. So they turn the key back on and the engine starts running again. Does it have fuel? Probably not. But the orcs don't know that, and therefore the machine doesn't know that. Everyone attacks until the attack moons come, right? Tooth Fairy says, I thought they were just cavemen until I learned more about them. I didn't understand how they fit into the 40k universe. Yeah, the orcs are a very interesting race. I would highly recommend checking out Lewiton's video on them. They actually were really close to defeating the Emperor of Man. Like, not the Imperium, but the actual Emperor himself. I think it was like M33 or M35, I'm not quite sure, where they actually laid siege to Terra, and they didn't have anything to protect them, like to fight against them. So that was a really, really close call. I think the Primarch Vulcan also had to basically sacrifice himself to fend off these orcs. That's why he's no longer around. So yeah, orcs fit very well. Yeah, they do. They are good. And I think the orcs actually have a little bit of a problem because they are, you know, they are portrayed as being very comedic relief characters that you oftentimes, you know, forget, you know, how horrific and terrifying these creatures actually are. Because it's mostly told from either, you know, us, the all-knowing narrator kind of view, or just some space marines who just keep, you know, hacking them down, basically. And they're also good, very often used in just, you know, some fun comics. But once you get down more to the bottom of it, you know, they definitely are some fiends. Okay. The Inquisitor says, it's one of those things where you keep saying it's silly until you're deep enough in the lore to understand it. Yeah. But again, you know, just for the sake of it, just let the orcs just have some fun, right? With all this grimdark, you need some hooligans to... I mean, like, the orcs are literal hooligans. They're like, when Games Workshop designed them back in the day. And, you know, design is a little bit of a fetch, but when they first came into being, the reference that the GW designers basically had for them were actual British hooligans, like football hooligans. And that's why they also speak like this very, like, rough, thick British hooligan accent.
Oi. You want to get stomped on, eh? Oi. Time for a proper stomping.
Hope that's not too loud. Sorry for that. Orcs are deeply terrifying, and we all thank the Emperor they stay in the silly manner because full IQ orcs are a force you won't mess with. Yeah, right. That's the thing, they also didn't used to be so dumb all the time. They used to be rather intelligent. We should be thankful that we're facing off the orcs as they are now. Let me just quickly get some acrylic black in these, you know, empty armor plates. Alright. This is another crevice slash pray and pray moment. Spray and pray moment right there. How did I do it here? Okay, I did do it properly. Then let's keep doing it properly. Of course, the inside of the armor needs to be black as well. So, I think the race that I usually am most interested in terms of their like transformation and what they do, what they want to achieve in the 40k universe, are actually probably the Elder. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the human stuff, so all that comes from humanity's side and all like the different characters and stuff. Oh. They get smarter the more they are. A few thousand is unpleasant, millions are a threat, but billions are just life and death situation. They use better tactics and build better weapons and lose the hooligan manner completely. That's true, that's true. So, there is this ongoing war in the Octarius sector, where the Imperium basically said, okay, let's reroute a Tyranid swarm into an orc territory, and let's just, you know, let both of these forces exhaust one another. And we basically are the referees that make sure that none of these forces break out into like the wider galaxy, basically. The problem with that, though, is that now, as this war has been raging on for quite some time, the Imperium starts to realize that there appears to be a slight shift of balance sometimes. So sometimes the one side triumphs, like fully triumphs over the other. And when they do, it's only a matter of time before one side completely outmatches the other. And what you have then is like probably the worst nightmare that the Imperium and the wider galaxy could face as a whole, right? Because an Inquisitor had this plan, he was retarded. Wasn't it Cryptman? It wasn't Cryptman, right? I think Cryptman is still operating in the Octarius sector, and, you know, although he's ousted, he still holds connections and power for him to run his little schemes there. I'm not quite sure if it was actually Cryptman who had this idea. Wouldn't be like, you know, it would definitely fit into his resume, but yeah, so what I wanted to say is, when one of these forces triumphs over the other, it might actually be the end of the Imperium, because either you have a Tyranid swarm with decades upon decades of fighting experience, adapted to the worst that the galaxy can throw at it, and fueled by the biomass of just billions and billions, maybe even trillions of orcs, right? Or you have an orc war, the biggest in like the galaxy has ever seen, completely decked out and you know, trained by, again, one of the worst things that the galaxy could possibly throw at them, right? And now they're just bloodthirsty, looking for another engagement of the similar size. So the Imperium is starting to realize, okay, shit, how do we get rid, actually, of both of these problems, because we can't just leave them to their own devices. Or otherwise we might wake up one day and either see the stars full of Tyranids or orcs. Both of which would be very bad. Very, very bad. Hey. So, with this cape, we need to keep going a little more. We need to give it one more coat paint. Both Calidor Sky and Barakna Burgundy. I'll just continue to use a big brush because why not? This isn't necessarily the most precision demanding task that we have today. Just roughly, you know, make out the crevices and then we'll get some Calidor Sky to freshen up the coat of blue. There we go. Oh, no. Nothing. I need to just mute Discord the next time I start a stream. I never usually have this problem. Quite embarrassing. Sorry about that, guys. Alright. Now just some Calidor Sky to finish the job. Some nice rich blue. Though it will dry very, like a lot duller than it appears now. Which is, you know, fine, of course. It's actually precisely what we want. So, I just need to make sure that transition between this fold and this fold is smooth enough for us. Because the other ones are like, they can be very stark because the folds themselves are quite, you know, sudden and strong. But that's not the case with these two folds right down the middle here. Yeah, we need to get it warded down and give it like a smooth transition, something along these lines. Same here, actually. A little more blue. Get some highlights going. Just, you know, while we're at it. Still want the blue to be visible, we just don't want it to be overpowering. Or standing out too much. Okay. There we go. Again, another piece of lore that I would really like to catch up on is the current Inari lore for Warhammer 40k. So the lore of the Eldar under Yvrain's banner. I quite like to, you know, Because so far, as a High Elven player So, the thing that I really didn't like playing the High Elves in Warhammer Fantasy days was because I knew I was playing a doomed race, basically. No matter how many battles I would win, of course, you know, in a narrative manner speaking, of course, my kingdoms would crumble sooner or later because the elves were a dying race and had basically no way out to prevent their demise. It is very much similar with the Elder. They too are definitely on a downward spiral. However, it seems like Yvrain and the Inari do actually have a plan of, at least in some form, bringing their, you know, bringing their people back to their glory by the rebirth of the resurrection of the Elder God of Death, Inead. So, what all that will entail, I'm not quite sure. There have been different interpretations as far as I'm concerned. So there's one where basically Inead will go and slay Slanesh, finally unburdening the Elder from their curse of having their souls ripped from them and, you know, fed to the god of access that they birthed into this realm. And the other thing that I heard is that Inead would basically slay all of the Elder, more or less, or that in the birthing process of this god, in the resurrection process, that he would, you know, that the Elder had to give up their mortal form and basically become some sort of spirit folk or something. So it's a little bit confusing on that part. Not quite sure, but I do like that the Elder actually seem to have at least one philosophy that offers them a way out of their demise. That is something that the High Elves didn't have. And that is basically the reason why I, of course, also immediately switched to the Ineads, to the Inari as my favorite Elder faction. Though again, it would also, you know, the reason I don't trust them like 100% is because it is 40k. And maybe in the end, when they have all the, you know, all Morai Hex fingers, so these swords, to, I don't know, rub them together or something to resurrect their god, that it turns out to be a ruse by Chaos, would definitely be very much on brand for Warhammer. We don't do happy endings here. And, you know, to just kill off the Elder, basically. Which would be very, very cool. Leaving most likely only the Drukhari and the Exodites. Maybe not even them, though. So, I don't know. I'm very much on board with them. Though some proper Exodite model would be cool as well. That might be, you know, even if Games Workshop would plan that, though, there'll be some years down the line, because the Exodites are not an important faction at all. I would love to see a kill team, though. Okay, the cloak on the back is now finished. We can compare it to the cloak as it looks right now on the right. We can see we basically achieved the same result. Of course, you know, the details missing, but that's you know, all in due time. Now I need to look at the guide again, because the inside of the cloak also has like its own color scheme. And it is easy as that. Okay. No problem. So basically what I'm seeing here is that first we take some Baraknar Burgundy. and paint the, you know, most striking folds of this mantle with it. Pretty similar to what we did with the cape that wraps it around his waist. Nothing crazy, nothing that needs to be pronounced very heavily. Again, just more for the vibes. But then we come to this stark fold down, like big fold down here. And this is where it gets a little bit more interesting. Focusing on this part down here, we actually continue the painting process right away. Getting, the, you know, bringing the burgundy out quite a lot, and then switching to some Calidor Sky and mixing that in as well. Just right away, some straight up wet blending here. Again, you know, we're trying to get a smooth transition. Also do something on the other folds, it doesn't really matter that much. If we don't do this, whatever looks good, right? Whatever looks good. Might look a little bit crazy on the camera because it, of course, you know, sets the contrast a little bit higher. Because as we all know, a camera lens has less photoreceptors than the human eye. Which is also why you sometimes take a photo of yourself and wonder, you know, if you're really that red in the face. No, but, you know, a camera doesn't have, like, a usual camera doesn't have as many, you know, red receptors, and therefore compensates by treating different shades of red as actually a very, like, the same shade of red. Which is why you sometimes look like you just finished a marathon in your pictures. It's not more a tidbit for you there. Alright. Tone it down a little bit. What did I do it here? And I did a little bit more Baraknar Burgundy here on the fold. Still want to have a very similar result. What did we do? Okay, we did it like that. Okay. I'm not sure if we should wait for it to dry. That's why I always use the mirror. I want to hate the original. I think that you need to have the original. Is that correct? Yeah, sure. Not sure if a mirror fixes that though. Like in terms of photos. You know, filters also of course work. But that's an entirely different debacle. That's a little bit too much paint. We might have to wait for the paint to dry a little bit more before we can slide in our completely bright thing. No. Okay, so do you want to hate the original? Okay. Okay. We are going in a very nice direction here. While that dries, what would be the next step for us? To just, you know, skip a little bit forward. Yeah, then of course we're supposed to do that and that. Okay, cool. So let's do the sheaves now. As we have Calidor Sky out already, this is a great opportunity to just, you know, as we wait for it to dry, to paint these sheaves down here. He has, of course, one smaller one on his hip for his secondary sword that he holds in his left hand, and a bigger one on his back for his main weapon, the long sword. Just a very nice blue. And the cloth is great on this mini. Well, thank you very much. And yeah, the sculpt itself is also amazing. You really get everything with this miniature. I think on a third-party site, this ELTHARION usually costs around $28. Now it might cost a little bit more at 28 euros. Now it might cost a little bit more due to price hikes, but yeah, very nice miniature to just mess around with a little bit. Okay. What color did we use for these straps though? Oh, hang on. We wouldn't know. Ah, okay, I get you. Did I just leave them white in the original? Damn, okay. Bug life. I have 2 from monthly minis. If I get a third, I do a Charlie's Angels diorama. Alright. Yeah, the blending on the cloth is so cool. Great job so far. Oh, well, thank you. It really is easy. Of course, like, it is actually very easy to pull this off. Definitely with colors that are so close together as, you know, the colors that we're currently working with, blue and purple. So if you're trying to, you know, looking for a nice color to blend on your own miniatures, look for colors that lie right next to one another on the painting wheel. Whoa. Wheel of paints, sorry. I'm glad you guys are enjoying what we're doing. It's always very good to hear. Let's quickly paint the sheath. And when we're done with that, it's roughly time to return back to the inside of the cloth. We're making, like, I say this a lot in these streams, especially when we're not making good pace actually, as it turns out in the end. Though we are making good pace with this miniature. Not a problem at all. For the younger audience, bro is cooking on that skibbity paint for real, for real. Big W for that. Hell yeah, man. No phantom tax on these bad boys, for real, for real. Slay, can we get some W's in the chat for that one? I'm totally gadooshing all over this mini. The fuck? Thanks Inquisitor for translating this for the younger audience. The younger audience being like 25 per my analytics. Oh my god, I thought I... thought I messed up the paint job on the inside. But no. No, we're fine. What next? Yeah, I think next we should definitely now take care of the inside of this thing. Okay, the way that we do that is we take some more Calidor Sky and really slap it on quite bright on here. Of course, work our way up slowly. We don't want to overdo it right away. This is roughly what we want. Let me quickly take a look at... Yeah, roughly. Don't need it much bigger than this. And now we wait again for it to be completely dry? Nah. That's not right. Now we actually need some white. So starting with Ulthuan Grey. We'll take a brush that's definitely past its best. Harriet, you need to really make sure that I don't hit any of my other miniatures with this. Hang on. Might need the cake tray for that. Nah, okay, no, okay. I don't need to do that. Need to just be quite careful. Because next I do want to paint basically a small, as you can see here. This one is very rudimentary. It's very small, like galaxy and the semblance of stars on his mantle. As again, it just looks like this on the official artwork in the codex. Still don't know why Games Workshop doesn't do it in the paint job as well. Just some Ulthuan Grey, a very moist brush with big bristles. And nothing to lose, basically. Nothing to lose except the paint. Okay. This is, of course, always a little bit of a wild card to pull off. So it either looks really good or really bad right off the bat. Oh, it works. Oh, it works very, very well. It works very well. Okay, perfect. Can be a little more heavy-handed. A little bit closer. On this end right here. We might need to manipulate this result a little bit with our brush. You know, take some stars out that we don't feel like seeing. Like, for example, the bigger ones, definitely. Especially, like, the ones that might steal the show for our brightest star later on. Just dull it down a little bit. And then... How long is the stream today? Today I will stream till... Oh, wow. It's already 8:30. God damn, really? Wow. Alright. Like, okay. Nice. I'm having fun, guys. Today I will stream at least till 10 PM. So 10 PM CET. So another 1.5 hours. Which should be enough to basically complete the miniature. That being said, I might do a little longer. I might actually cut it a little bit earlier. I'm not quite sure. But I'm like 10 PM is the goal. Maybe we'll do a little bit longer if we're just before completion, right? So 10 PM CET. One more thing to the people on YouTube watching. So this means just you, Inquisitor, right now. We won't, like, this stream won't have a VOD. Is this a miniature getting fucking moldy or something? Damn, what? Maybe it's just dust. It's probably dust. So we won't have a VOD of this stream. I'm trying out something different And I do always feel a little bit guilty for YouTube, you know, collecting all my goofing around in these streams. Sometimes it's nice because sometimes people, you know, actually get something from it. Even later on in the VODs, and of course, you know, those are not a problem. But I do want to see also what YouTube, you know, does with the whole algorithm when I don't have a VOD to show for it. And I do also want to take a different brush now. Do I? How many stars do I have here? Nah, it's not that big of a deal. I do want to take some white scar next. So the brightest white in Games Workshop arsenal, VOD. Yes, all the streams can be watched in the library. So there's a playlist on YouTube called Streams and Hobby Hangouts, and there you guys can rewatch all the streams that happened on this channel so far, except for one series that I deleted, which was the Kingdom Come Deliverance series. So the stream where I played Kingdom Come Deliverance wearing the armor that my character wore in the game. Very fun series. Oh, though I didn't know much about streaming, so I just deleted that after a couple of years. Maybe we'll do another one when Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 comes out. I do want to make a video on that though. But you know, as far as these streams go, I think every stream I'll tell you guys another plan that I have for videos and other content. So I do need to definitely see what comes around. Roughly like that. Okay. Let's just do one here. Big star. Like the North Star, basically. Okay. And there we go. I just go to the live part of the channel. Oh yeah, of course, that also works as well. Lick the brush. Okay. And there we go. A nice, you know, semblance of a galaxy right here. It's a little bit smoother in, like, the original than it is on camera, but I think you guys get what we just achieved here. And the little star, like the big star, like down there, is just to top it all off. Okay, perfect. We already did that. I think the cloak is now basically done. I think we can already move on to the... That's sick. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I love this effect as well. I think I actually used some Nihilak Oxide or something. I'll use some Cabalite Green though to be sure. So now we paint... Thank you so much, I'm glad that you like it. Now we'll use a big brush with a lot of water and some Cabalite Green. Catch these straps flapping behind his helmet. Maybe that's a little bit too much water. I do want to pronounce the structure of these cloth thingies. The reason I leave it white is for once to showcase you guys the effect of contrast paints. Oh, you'll be back in 30 minutes? Alright, see you then, man. I'll still be here, no worries. And That was of course a joke. And not the contrast paint part, not being here anymore. And I do want to leave some space for the Nihilak Oxide, which is a technical paint, which has a very fluid consistency, and will just enhance the luminescence of this paint right here. Make it look a little bit more magical. And of course I do the same for the straps holding the sheath. Hey! Holding the sheath. Okay, I did mess up a little bit. Down here on the right side. Just quickly dabbing that up. Reapplying it a little bit thicker consistency. So it stays in place. Oh. Well, we are having some nice classical music going right now. Actually, hence this is more or less of a test stream. I'll just keep it playing. I just want to see how YouTube will react. And of course, if you guys like something like this, like, I don't mind. I love hearing just classical orchestras. And although all of these, you know, pieces are in the public domain, I still get flagged for them on YouTube when I use them. It's very weird. Okay. Completely different vibe than the fantasy music we usually have playing. I don't mind, I don't mind. Alright, by the way guys, although it might be a little bit early to ask you for your New Year's resolution. Never mind, I'll do that in the last stream of the year, which will probably be either on the 2nd or 3rd Advent, where we do our Christmas stream with Feinrich. Quickly painting these straps right here. They don't have to be 100% true to color, as they will be mostly covered up by the cloak and in the shadows anyway, so if they're a little bit darker than the rest, that's absolutely no problemo. Did we... the wash will take care of that. Good. Now, what's next? Highlights, really? No. Alright, okay. Usually, I'd now mix up a certain version, like a certain hue of white for ELTHARION, though I'm quite sure that I don't need to do that actually anymore. I'm actually fairly certain that now it's enough to... Is it enough to only use palette white flash? I'm not quite sure. No, wait, maybe I need to mix it up. I probably need to mix it up, never mind. Okay. Oh, in that case I have to prepare my wet palette. I didn't think about that. No. Let's just try it straight with palette white flash. Can't be that bad. Can't be that different. Especially, nah, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. Let's just keep talking Let's just keep reaffirming that. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Cut to 20 minutes after and show that it's actually very much not fine. So now we basically paint the armor in with palette white flesh, which is a little bit of an off eggshell white. No, it looks precisely like I would have done it. No, this should be fine. Yeah, this is the vampire skin color that I sometimes use. Also, by the way, you know, I do use so many paints in my videos, so many different... is the music too loud, maybe? Let's just keep it down a notch. I use so many different paints in my videos. So many different hues of everything, especially, for example, blue colors and stuff like that. Like, this doesn't mean that you have to own all the colors that I use. You can easily just mix them up with, you know, the primary colors that you get from, for example, the Age of Sigmar starter set. Not the 40k starter set. That starter set is too much, you know, trimmed to Ultramarine and Tyranid players specifically. Though the Age of Sigmar starter set has a great variety of colors that you can basically use to mix up every color that you need, especially with Abaddon Black and Corax White in there as well. Corax White, of course, not being my favorite of whites, but you know, it's kind of standard, so I don't know. But Jan, Corax White has such a good consistency. Yeah, that's why it dries up all the time. Corax White is used for priming miniatures. It's overpriced anyways. Just, you know, try out some regular acrylic primers or something. Which is insanely hypocritical of me to say. I'm just realizing, because I know that the other... Okay, in terms of primers coming from a can, Corax White actually ain't all that bad. I tried different whites from other brands, like off brands from a hardware store and stuff, and they didn't have the same, like, opacity and consistency, especially opacity though, that Corax White has. So maybe actually Corax White might be the GOAT when it comes to white spray primers. But that's the only thing. Corax White sucks a little bit, just a little bit, as a color in the paint pot. Which you can now argue over if that's the fault of the pot or a fault of the paint. It definitely is both in a way. No, I did a whoopsie doopsie. A whoopsie daisy. So, you basically just paint the whole armor with it, all the ornaments. Like, I see some people... So, okay, I'll go over that later when we paint the ornaments, but there is actually one thing that I do differently than the quote-unquote lore accurate painting style, which are the ornaments on the armor, or the flourishes and stuff. Because in the original artwork, the flourishes are all, you know, picked out in a bright gold. Though I personally feel like doing that, I've seen some people do that, and it looks fine, of course. It doesn't look bad or anything. I just think it looks a little bit too much. I think the bright true metallic gold reflecting from all the non-metallic areas of the miniatures is quite noisy for the eye to look at and distracting, which is why I usually pick up the flourishes in the same eggshell white that we are currently using as our base coat after the wash, of course. And that's the only diversion that I take from the lore accurate original paint job. Okay. There isn't a huge difference, but if you look at the screen right now, you can see like the scales still have the original bright clinical Corex white primer, whereas the armor appears a little bit more off-white. It's only a hue on camera, a little bit more of a difference in real life. Though this difference will make or break our miniature, basically. Of course, make, not break. Helmet as well, of course. Okay, I'm actually making it a little bit louder again. Tell me if this is too much. Oops. Okay, here I did not do a good job of priming. Should still work out, but yeah, it was already dark when I came home. So I basically had to do it right in front of the house, my apartment building, and the light wasn't the very best. Though it's okay. The coverage that we have right here should easily be enough to achieve what we need. It doesn't look like it looks like I didn't prime it at all in the video right now. The reason why we today, by the way, take a break from the cursed city and paint this Luminev miniature is because I still want to get going with my commissions on Etsy again. And I'm currently second guessing if I can even, properly achieve that with the cursed city. Jesus Christ. And because just so many miniatures, right? So that's why I start with ELTHARION again, because he has been my my go-to best-selling miniature, quote-unquote. And it's a lot easier to put this guy out there and, you know, convince people to buy the singular miniature than pay for 60 miniatures. And I do have another ELTHARION in stock, so, you know, maybe we'll paint another one. Next stream we'll be back on the Cursed City again. Possibly with some zombies or maybe Gorslav, the Gravekeeper or something. Just a really fun miniature, and Gorslav is very fun to paint. Torgilius is also quite fun, the Chamberlain. Though, shit. Though, goddammit, what am I doing? Though Gorslav is not only fun, but also very easy and satisfying. Torgilius is a little bit more finicky, which from experience is not a good quality for a miniature to have on stream. Okay. Should be good. Am I forgetting something? The left arm, of course. But after that, we should be good. That was wrong. That was double wrong. Not only did I paint into a part that's already painted, so the acrylic black in this case, I also immediately grabbed the miniature by the painted part, leaving my fingerprints all over it. Oh no. Yeah, okay, I'll switch back to the Fantasy Tavern playlist. This is... as nice as it is, I think it's the wrong playlist. I need to look for stuff to complement the channel a little bit better. Yeah. Nah. Not really. Let's just go with some classics. Okay. You guys can't see anything. Awesome. And I think, are we done? Basically. Yeah. Yeah. So the rest of this is paintable. Nobody says, hey! One of my favorite painters is online again. Oh, thank you so much. One of my favorite viewers is back online again as well. Got to head to the studio for a little bit. Gonna lurk till I get back. Alright, okay. Thank you very much for, you know, keeping it running. Good luck in the studio. I'll see you hopefully later again. Have a nice day. See ya. Nobody. Been quite a long time, a full week already. How are you doing, man? What's going on with you? In these trying times. Not really. At least not for me, not really. Nothing that I shouldn't be able to manage. But how is it with you? Are you doing good? We're kicking all of our butts lately, I guess. Oh, alright, okay. So is it just the, I guess, regular Christmas crunch, or what's going on? Last quarter of the year. Oh really? I do the gold first? Okay. Glorious gold. Glorious gold. End of the year drama? Alright, okay, I see. Yeah. Typically. I don't know if you've told me anything about your work, but do you have a job that needs to what's it called? Basically, do you need to set up another contract for your work? Or is it, you know, safe? Is it safe? Is it alright? Because I do know some people who have to renegotiate is the word. Renegotiate their contracts every year. Just the way that their industries are set up. So that's of course always nice to have. Oh, should I have painted? Maybe. Okay, we can do that later. Can we though? Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, we can do that later. Nobody says, I work in logistics for heavy-duty industry, and like every company, revenue needs to be pushed to Nirvana and beyond at the end of the year. Yeah. I mean, I definitely get that. That's nothing unusual. Damn, though. Well, good luck with, you know, meeting and exceeding your quotas. Hope everything runs at least somewhat smoothly. My god, this miniature is so much easier to paint with glorious gold. Glorious gold. But you picked a nice model for us to watch along today? Oh yeah, we are painting today. We are painting the Light of ELTHARION. So this is what the man will look like at the end of the stream, hopefully. Maybe, I don't know. The end of the stream is roughly 1 hour away, so we'll see about that. But yeah, it's something different than definitely what we did during the subathon, and also a little bit different than what we did the last few days. So if you didn't know, I do stream on Twitch from Tuesday to Fridays from 7 to 9 CET. At least I try to reach that time frame roughly. The reason I'm not quite sure if I should also stream that regularly on YouTube, because I don't know if people on YouTube would actually appreciate that. So, you know, not appreciate might be the wrong word, but I feel they might get a little bit annoyed by all of these notifications all the time. I don't know. Have to look into that. Definitely will do a poll over the weekend. By the way, you were the guy. You were the friend of the guy who I painted the 55 Terminators for, right? Do I remember that correctly? Switching it up seems okay. Yeah, well, you know. Nice wordplay, by the way. It's basically just the reason I stream so much these times is because I do need to get a lot of painting done. And it's just nice to do it with other people alongside me, right? That's correct. Okay. Excellent. Right. Because I have been, you know... I've been thinking about that Kayatan demon engine. It's still too early to say anything definitively, but... I would definitely like to come back to you on that next year. Maybe once I've got the ball on Bretonia running. And also, once I'm fucking done with the goddamn audiobook that I'm doing. So again, still a little while, but just wanted to finally remember who it was that I need to contact. Thanks for clearing it up. Oh, Francois Marianne is also here. Nice. Hey, man. Absolutely waiting for you. Just need to send me a DM. Oh, great. Okay, cool. Perfect. I'm very glad to hear that. I'll definitely come back to you one way or another next year. Definitely want to try and tackle that. That's definitely a challenge. Salutations to you, Francois. What are you up to? What are your... How was your week? Do you two are currently just trying to survive the pre-Christmas crunch, or are you... What is going on? Are you having a little bit of an easier time? Just 2 coats. So nice. So much better to work on than with Gehenna's Gold. Oh my gosh. So much better. Immediately messed that up. Holy shit. Am I stupid? Just 2 coats. Oh well, you know. Gehenna's, if this was Gehenna's Gold, I'd need at least 3 or 4. Francois says, I've been magnetizing bases. Had a good Thanksgiving and tomorrow I'll be getting a new puppy. Aww. I'm retired, so holidays don't bother me any. I'm very comfortable. Alright, okay. Glad to hear. You'll be getting a new puppy, dude. That's so sweet. How come? Are you fostering, or are you adopting? What's going on? If you want to share it, of course. I know that it can be quite the hassle to type all that in. Yeah. Was it a little bit too close to the sun? Maybe. Yeah. A little bit too reckless here. Okay. How's it looking? How's it looking? Good cooking. Yeah, okay, should be all fine. Then we return to the cape and cloak and helmet. Such nice details on this helmet. I really like the hoplite and Greek warrior aesthetic that they went with the Lumineth. Doesn't translate 100% all the time, but you know, it works very well most of the time. Francois says, my doggy has been depressed since we moved, so I'm getting a henchman for Lord Inquisitor Doggo. Farts a lot retinue. Alright. Nice. Hopefully they'll get along well. Hoping the best. Glad to hear. That's very sweet, man. Puppies are definitely a handful, so they will keep your man occupied. I keep calling your dog Doggo all the time as well. My god, what's going on in my Discord chat right now? Sorry for the constant beep notifications. I forgot to turn that off pre-stream, and I always think like, oh, well, okay, how bad would it be? And then Theinrich notices that I'm streaming and just sends message after message. And not even messages with any sort of, like, actual interesting, like, contents. When the stream began, he literally just sent me 3 messages saying beep boop. Because he knew that you guys would hear it on stream. What a rascal. So... and the backside as well. Francois says, my current dog likes boy dogs, so it shouldn't be a problem with this new pup. Alright, okay, cool. Well, definitely hoping for the best. My, I unfortunately had to give up my, cat, quote-unquote my cat. It was more my girlfriend's, it was my girlfriend's cat. Unfortunately we had to give it up because we couldn't, like, tend to it as well as we wanted to. Not that, like, we mistreated it or anything, but, you know, it is only a 1-room apartment that we have, so it didn't really enjoy it. Like, it was a pure house cat, and we raised it from being a kitten. And I picked a breed that's only mildly spunky. Oh, mildly spunky? Well, does the puppy know that as well? But yeah, so basically we gave the kitten to, like the cat to her parents. I don't know why I keep saying we. She gave it to her parents who already, you know, have 2 to 3 cats roaming around already as well. And we're like, oh my gosh, you know, hopefully they understand one another and don't like the small young cat doesn't get in trouble. No. The small, like, her cat is bossing them around. She owns the place now. All the other cats better behave on her watch. So yeah, that worked out very, very nicely, I think. The only cat that she doesn't boss around is, like, the oldest, not the oldest of the group, but, you know, the male cat of the house. Because that man is very big. That's a big boy. So yeah, that guy doesn't get intimidated easily. But, you know, at least they don't scuffle around too much. Now they only annoy her dad. And of course, annoying in a playful way. Look at this great gold, by the way. I can't get over the fact that this is working so well. Don't even need a second coat. This is so good. Should have picked up this paint so much earlier than I did. Yeah, don't get yourself Games Workshop gold colors, people. The only Games Workshop gold that I can recommend is Retributor armor and maybe Liberator gold or something. The other gold colors... Maybe Balthasar gold, though that's more of a brass color anyways. And there you still also have like brass scorpion, which is a lot richer. So, you know, depends on the taste there. What gold is this? Oh, this is glorious gold. So I'm not saying this just for the meme. It is actually Oro Glorioso. Glorious gold from Game Color. Hands down the best gold is Vallejo Liquid Gold range. Oh yeah, I heard about that. Didn't try it now. The reason I have that and not Vallejo is because that one was on sale basically. Cost like 1 or 2 euros or something. François says, what? I just got my new electric battery generator. Now my fish will be safe this winter when the power goes out. Oh, right. Holy shit, hang on. Are you like in Texas or something? Because, you know, I definitely heard about power outages during winter over there. Or are you living in a, you know, northern state where, you know, having no power during the winter, or, you know, power outages in the winter are basically the norm? Alcohol-based color? Always use synthetic brushes with those? Oh, right, okay. Okay, yeah. Not the case with this one, but yeah. I definitely wanted to try a range, like a range of inks that I saw advertised on Instagram. So those were like, I think the Grimdark inks or somewhat. It was a whole range. And it looked to have like very nice results. Though, I don't use many inks anyways, and I would have to get them now, like right on Black Friday, and I'm not convinced that much. Oklahoma, right, the power went out 5 times last winter. And once it was for 3 days. Okay, right. Well, okay. Yeah, better safe than sorry. You have an electric battery generator? Hang on. It's got my new electric battery generator. Alright. How does that work? So that's not a petrol-fueled one, but or gas-fueled one, but or is it like electric battery storage or something? Like emergency stuff on, for example, cruise ships or something. So cruise ships, for example, have an emergency energy storage on board during, you know, for emergencies when the generators kick off for some reason. For lighting and communication. Is it something like that, or is it like a small one? I'm very much intrigued. We had once a power outage in this apartment complex, or rather the entire street. One time for I think like a couple of hours, only 5 hours or something, and that turned out to be basically a mistake at the energy plant, which was kind of ridiculous because what kind of mistake needs to happen does that precisely one street is out of like energy? And it was only one half of the street as well, so only like the buildings on one side of the street. It was weird. You charge batteries to use later, right? It's 5,500 kilowatts. Oh, okay. Yeah. That'll last for a little bit. I'll go have dinner, be back later. Alright, have a nice dinner, nobody. Nobody will have a nice dinner. Right, okay. Well, sounds good. Safe to be prepared. I should be able to run my refrigerator, fish tanks, phone, and laptop about for 4 days. Oh. It also hooks up to a solar panel. Ooh, okay. Still love the name? Oh yeah, you picked very well. It's good for like the every other joke, but you know, sometimes it gets a little bit weird when I need to address you in front of others or something. So yeah, very well chosen. And very well chosen with the generator as well. Sounds good. Also good thing to have, I think, solar. You know, just in case. My family once and I once tried to, you know, get hooked on solar basically. Like proper solar paneling on our roof. Though the solar salesman that we had like proposed a ridiculous plan. Like in one hand, you know, of course the energy management. We were like not convinced by the output basically. And also the fact that the entire reason that we wanted to get solar was just in case something ever happens, that we could still, you know, have, you know, electricity independently of whatever happens. It was more of a precaution thing. And not actually like a big worry or something. But the guy was like, oh yeah, when for example the energy net is down, then you guys won't have solar either, because the solar panels need to check with the energy plant on how much energy it's producing. And if that connection is lost, you guys can't use it. And we were like, what? But what's the point then? Oh yeah, there's tons of other different, like, good advantages. And we were like, okay. But that was like the one thing that we wanted it for. What are you talking about? And it was also like ridiculously expensive. Ugh. I asked my friend about it because his family has solar as well on their roof. And they were like, no, what are you talking about? The plans are amazing. You guys just had a bad salesman or something. Oh. Well. What's next? I need to have like this little golden ornament down here. A little bit hard to see, for which I'm very sorry. After that, we might need to take care of the rest of the headdress. That might very well be the case. Okay. So the feathers of the headdress. I'm so much looking forward to painting the cloak. It's like, oh, can't wait. Okay, I'm first doing silver, really? Nah, we don't need that. I just did that for speed painting purposes. Okay, okay. Now we're actually cooking again. Doing a very nice, next step is a very nice transition on these feathers. On the helmet. Hang on, let me do that. Oh, hang on, those are only good deals if you can afford to pay it off with the first year before your financing starts collecting interest. Yeah, definitely. I heard that. I think the best margin I've heard, the margin in case of interest, where it still kind of at least breaks even, or maybe makes a little bit of a difference mathematically, is when the interest rate is like 2 or 3%, maybe 4 or something. Though, again, I don't know what the financing on that thing was. It was definitely not good. Like, I don't remember the details anymore. It's been quite a few years now. But yeah, it was ridiculous. And we were also like, okay, let's just, you know, wait for the future when maybe we get better solar panels or something. And people invent better solar panels. Okay, now we need White Scar. White Scar, Lothern Blue, Calidor Sky, and Baraknar Burgundy. And what we'll do now is just a very, very quick... Oh, hey. A very quick transition, basically, up here. Get some white on first. We first want to basically wet the area, moisten it up with some pure white. So the other colors will work a little bit better. Will apply a little bit better. There we go. Then we go right with it with some Lothern Blue. And just let the paint bleed into the white. Doesn't need to be too crazy. Doesn't need to be too strong. We still want to have some white left over, of course. Though this result is almost optimal. And then we basically do the same with the darker Calidor Sky. Yeah. Just, you know, mix it in there. A little bit of wet blending action. Just guide the paint around the halo that is his circle of feathers. It's good if you DIY your solar, but you do have all casts up front. And it's a lot more limiting than most people understand. Yeah, I get that as well. Like, solar is a very interesting type of thing. It also only works like in certain like regions, of course. Like, it makes only sense in certain regions and stuff like that. Only on certain roofs as well. Not only because of the weight, but also because of, you know, the direction of the sun. Which I didn't know. I was always curious about why not everybody just had solar on their roof, because there's obviously sun out there, but no. You only get like the like, it needs to have some efficiency margin, and you only get that margin when you point it like in a certain direction, which I didn't know for the longest time. Only found that out rather recently. Okay. Nice transition on the feathers, says the Inquisitor. Do you make highlights on the single feathers? You can also scam with them. So with solar, yeah. I don't intend on highlighting each individual feather, no. Because, truth be told, we don't need that for the result we're going for. Just cleaning up a little bit. Yeah. Little bit like... Damn, I'm not quite sure how I did it back then. But I think this works out. Definitely want it to be really dark on the edges. Like a very dark purple. Okay. Yeah. NASA makes solar panels for spaceships. They need to recoup R&D costs. So are marketing solar to civilians as being good for the environment, but really it's a pretty crap technology. I'm not sure about that. It's the first time I'm hearing that, by the way, and it does make sense, kinda. But I think the concept is very nice. It's like EV cars, right? So right now EV cars are not very good, and I wouldn't necessarily advocate, you know, getting one. Especially not with all the resources that we currently need, and the batteries and stuff, and the slave labor. But I still think the concept of EV cars is very promising. I once was in Great Britain, and it was in the British Museum of, I think, Technology and Science it was, or maybe like Biology and Science, I'm not quite sure. And they were presenting some like steam engines and the evolution of steam engines. And it was so interesting because for the most of the time, steam engines actually quite sucked. They didn't really like have the power that we see from steam engines today. And so the curve was basically like this, so very, very slow. It only was like slightly improving engine after engine, innovation after innovation. And then like one guy cracked it, and the jump from here to the next engine was like poof, like through the roof. Like that engine had like 100 times the power of the engine before. And like that was a very nice illustration of like technology and innovation. And I still feel like something like that should be possible with, for example, solar and EVs as well. Because we see it in so many other technologies as well. Like this jump, this sudden jump. So I think, you know, as long as people keep innovating on it, we will come to a point where it's just genius, basically. And again, the concept of using electricity for everything is also very good, in my mind. Though, you know, don't get me wrong, I also really like combustion engines. But it's just, you know, the promise of the perfect electric vehicle is just too enticing for me, I'm sorry. Okay. What I would have liked, though, the one thing that I think is like bad for all sides, though, is all the time this like politicization of everything. I don't want to talk about this too much because I really don't like talking about politics on my channel. If I can avoid it, though, I just want to quickly state that I think it's very annoying that like politics like claims certain energy forms and like motors and stuff as like their own, and so it becomes a thing of less looking for something to innovate on and more of a thing to use like as political like weight and like a display of power, which I think is like bad for everyone involved. I think this just holds people back. Because suddenly it's not a thing about what makes more sense, but it's more a thing of, okay, I don't want to let you have the last word, and that's where biases come in, and that's where people start to lie and skew with statistics and with data, and that I just hate. I really don't like that. Anyways, we are getting a very nice transition on these feathers. think the second row is definitely, might be actually better than the first, though I might have messed it up a little bit up here. Blending in together very nicely. Rather nicely, not very nicely. It works. It works. Okay. It's a little bit better. I like your starry cloak. Oh, thank you very much. It's a, like, this is not the first time that I'm painting this miniature. It's actually my 4th time. And the first time, so as you can see here, this was the result from the first time. And I did make a complete guide on YouTube on how to get this guy, you know, to this stage very, very quickly. It's not a difficult paint job at all. It's quite beginner friendly, I would even say. And this was like the first iteration of the star cloak. So not quite as cool as this one. I think this is a little smoother. But it literally is just, you know, taking some white paint, getting it on the brush, flicking it on so it looks good. Maybe, you know, get rid of some very big splotches. And one star that I just place here. Or like this extra little hit. I'm glad you like it. Thank you very much. Where were we, by the way? What did we just do? Oh, the feathers, right. Yeah, so... It looks a little bit messy here and there. We need to go in there and help a little bit. Where the wash didn't wanna... where the colors didn't wanna flow the way that we needed them to. That's a quick fix though. Just some Lothern blue. And the whole thing is cleared up. Okay. More or less. Do you actually need more white? We will take some white later on and, you know, get something done here anyways. So this looks okay. So why have you ever painted so many of this character? Oh, the reason for that is money! Money, 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 money! The reason I do that is because I really like painting this miniature. So the story goes basically that I painted this miniature and it was very easy and very quickly done with, you know, this awesome result. And I was like, you know what? If ever I would start selling miniatures, this would definitely be a pick for me. So I opened an Etsy account, took some pictures, and put it there for sale. Basically saying that, okay, if anybody wants this, I will get myself another miniature and paint him and then send him away. And yeah, 2 people did that. I sold him 2 times before taking out the offer after I was, you know, done with commissions. And now I just want to get into it again and to, you know, start off my stock again. I thought, you know, why not start with ELTHARION, as the Cursed City is a little bit of a bigger project, you know, 60 miniatures compared to 1. But yeah, the reason is I actually do sell them. Oh yeah, the backside. So we need to do the Soul Song and Dance 2 more times. White Scar first. Basically prime our canvas here for the paints to flow smoothly. After that's done, we'll take some Lothern blue And that's our first base coat. Our first color. I got really close to the edge, basically. Not the edge, but the inner ornaments. It needs to be quite proper, because otherwise it won't stand out enough against the other colors. Maybe you know what? Maybe we should do both sides at once. Why make it Why make it harder on ourselves? Huh. If we go over the gold here and there, it's not that big of a problem. We can easily fix that later. And the wash will take care of some mistakes here and there as well. So... yeah. Why is the music so... it's a little bit... the vibe is a little bit off. Hang on. Let me get a little bit something... at least a little bit quicker. Come on. This is not a sleep or ASMR stream. This is supposed to be fun and entertaining. You know, as fun and entertaining as live miniature painting can be anyways, right? So... just work in the darker Calidor sky. With wet blending, the transition, if you play your cards right, usually should take basically care of itself, though it looks like we used a little bit much water here. Should be still alright though. Should be very much alright. If we get a little bit too close to the golden ornaments, it's again not that big of a deal, as we will pour some white down there later on as well anyway. And as I'm now thinking about it, maybe that would have actually been like a perfect opportunity to try out some white ink, which I don't have, though maybe it really gets time that I get my hands on some. I see people do so much cool shit with white ink. Especially Juan Sanz from El Miniaturista. If you guys are familiar with that man. He does some very cool lighting. His last video though, so I follow him on Instagram, sometimes he shares some snippets of his projects. He did show a way on how, you know, he got basically did, you know, get the same result with that you would with an airbrush, but with dry brushing, which I definitely, you know, agree on. You can get very similar results with dry brushing as you would with airbrushing. Though the way that he presented it was a little bit, I'm not hating or anything, though it was a little bit, you know, because he masters the airbrush just so much, I think he was a little bit too excited with the dry brushes that he used. It was a little bit rough around the edges compared to his masterclass of airbrushery. Let's just call it that. Though again, I definitely agree. You can easily recreate a lot of things that you can do with airbrush with dry brushing if you play your cards right. Alright, speaking of playing our cards right, these feathers also don't look half bad. So, and now as I slowly turn him to the side, there is another comb of feathers that we need to take care of. Though this one is a lot smaller and won't take as much time. When we're done with that, I think it's already time for some edge highlighting of the cloak. With a very, very light blue. With the love and blue that we also use right now for the feathers. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. See this? See this on the feathers? This is not supposed to be like that. Stuff like this happens when too much water is on the canvas basically and pooling the paints together too much, like letting the paints flow too freely. We don't want that. And to Inquisitor who asked if we wanted to, you know, highlight every single feather, we don't actually need to. The wash does actually kind of like the way that we apply the paint actually takes care of that for us for the most part. Of course, we could try and bring more action into it, though with all of the gemstones that I want to paint in, I think that's a little bit too messy. Not too messy, but too noisy. Do 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 do. Some very bright leathern blue. On both sides, as you can see, this is a lot easier. One more. And then we switch right to Calidor Sky. If you do this at home and you feel like your paint is not being applied correctly, like just, you know, gets blocked by the paint that's already there, the answer is not more paint. The answer is just, you know, more brush strokes. A little bit more patience, if you will. And once you have everything in a smooth coat, then you can go in with another piece of paint, another bit of paint. And of course, some Barakna Burgundy to finally finish the job. Okay. My head, my earpiece is falling out, I feel it. But you know what's not falling out? This paint job. Let's go. Okay. Nice. Great job on the feathers. I say this in, like, relief, because it is kind of a gamble. It is a little bit of a gamble. Every time. And this time it turned out very nicely. Just, you know, correcting, because we do need some sort... So the reason it's a gamble, quote-unquote, is because it has to look kind of similar. Which, when you're using water and just, you know, the flow of paint is a little bit up to random, but, you know, looks similar enough, I think. So the next step should be the coat. And if it's not, I'm still doing him now. It now, because I just want to. How long have we been streaming? 2.5 hours. Oh wow, it's almost 10 already. Okay. We'll make the 3 hours full, so it'll be for 24 more minutes. And then we're basically done with him anyways. So the only stuff left is then will be the wash. And after the wash, we need to, you know, wait for it to dry anyways. So let's try and push for that. And after that, we will have made very decent progress. I mean, painting an entire character in one day. With this result, not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. Always paint these things with kind of the flat side of your brush, not the tip. It'll make your life a whole lot easier. Ooh. Okay. Just painting these things. This is very good for two reasons, because one, we finally get the frame in place for this cloak, which will actually help with the color transition that we did. You know, as it frames the whole thing and makes it easier for the eye to make it out, and also gives it something to stand against and stuff like that. But it also just cleans up the whole look very, very nicely. Which, you know, also helps the eye with getting rid of some distractions and helping it guide the view. Okay. Of course, we need to pay very close attention that we don't fly too close to the sun and get some paint on the cloak. That would be like the paint transition part by accident. That would be not so cool. But we can definitely pull this off. By the way, I'm just remembering that I need to ask my brother about our gift to our elder brother. So I have two brothers, and as you might know, Space Marine 2 has just come out, which allows you to play in a 3-player co-op. And what better way than to play a Space Marine Warhammer game with your actual brothers? You know, not just for the meme. Definitely need to ask him about that. Okay, now we get to our first ornaments down here, which has like an elven rune. If I'm not mistaken, that should be the rune of the Phoenix temple, which I'm quite surprised to still see after the end of the old world. But maybe it's an homage to, you know, ELTHARION's home. As you all know, of course, the elves are reigned over by a more or less elected king called the Phoenix King, who has to step through the eternal flame of their god. And if the god approves of the elf's choice, then the elf will basically go through the fire unscathed. So he will feel the fire, and he will have some sort of basically spiritual cleansing in a way. But if the god approves, the elf will walk out the other side of the flame with healed flesh and, you know, the right spark, if you want to be a little bit cheeky about it. By the way, I'm not quite sure if this already is in the old world. Does anybody know if there's a Malekith model? Is like, because Morathi, so the mother of Dark Elves basically, she of course has her own Age of Sigmar rules and two models actually, one on foot and one in her Lamia form. But does Malekith has a model? Does he play a role? Because he does in the lore, in the Age of Sigmar lore. Not quite sure if I saw him though. Same with Tyrion for the Lumineth as well, by the way. Only Tactus has his model. That's kinda sus. Sometimes I feel like Games Workshop is like making these lore stuff and you know, obviously hinting at more miniatures, but then they basically either they just hold off on them for the moment, or they get just distracted. So it feels like the latter, though I don't think that GW doesn't have a plan for them. Right? It can't be. But again, it's not like they don't have anything else to do. Oh, by the way, in 2 weeks, we'll get treated to 2 Warhammer animations on Amazon Prime. Which, if you are, you know, a true fellow human being, you will of course have an Amazon Prime account that you leech off one of your fellow other human beings. Without paying, of course. And or maybe you have a family account, of course. So yeah, that'll be exciting. I'm very much hyped up for that. I already got my girlfriend to watch them with me. She'll be so annoyed. Not annoyed, but like, she very much likes Star Wars, but she doesn't like any other sci-fi. What is that about? Oh, hang on. She did like Dune, though. Oh, okay, right. She explained to me that. Never mind. I need to stop talking about my girlfriend. You wouldn't know her. She goes to a different school. Okay. These little pommels are a lot more of a speed bump than I remember them to be. Huh. And then of course we keep continuing with the actual ornaments. It's so surreal for me, like as a Warhammer fan, to see Warhammer become more mainstream. And I'm sure that you guys possibly have, like, okay, I was just wondering about you actually. Okay, glad to see you're back. I was just talking about how it's quite weird, like, or surreal for me as a long-time Warhammer fan, to see it finally become like mainstream, where like a lot of people are talking about it. It becomes more of a thing of pop culture. Like, for example, I really like to watch Moist Critical, Penguin Zero, Charlie on YouTube. And he now that he's played Space Marine and stuff, he is like actively listening to the lore, and like every new video has like a Warhammer reference in it. Which, to me, is just insane. How does it happen so quickly? Because it's like, you know, when you follow a hobby and a streamer for so long, you're like sometimes thinking, oh man. It's like when you have like a good friend or partner that you wanna, you know, tell something about your hobby, because who doesn't want to do that, right? But you don't really want to, you know, because you know it might be annoying or like boring to them. They might not share your enthusiasm, and all of a sudden they hit you with like, oh yeah, are you like doing this? And then, like a shock. Oh my god. You know what I'm doing. You know my hobby. You made a reference. Oh, sorry for being out of focus. For everybody watching this stream not familiar with my setup, my camera doesn't have autofocus, like at all, so sometimes if I don't check every 5 seconds, can happen that we go without a focus picture for a little while, for which I'm very sorry. Okay, and now we basically have to just take care of this small flourish down here. Actually, my hand is getting kind of numb, like my left hand, which I'm holding the cloak. It's falling asleep. Like when you sit on the toilet and your legs become numb from watching too many memes. Too many memes. Okay. Now it's getting kind of difficult with this rune, and of course we have to pick out the other rune as well. Be very careful. Patience is definitely key. Very smooth result. Okay. Every time I need to do these, like, little bit more fiddly ornaments, I always get so quiet, because I need to actually focus on what I'm doing. It's like when you're learning how to drive and the instructor tries to keep talking with you to, you know, get the activity to become more mundane and ingrained. Less stressful. And you're just like, no, don't want to talk right now, I'm actually doing something. Can't talk. By the way, too, Fairy, oh, hang on. You also went all in on Magic the Gathering? Oh yeah, right. I mean, that was kind of like to be expected with Moist Critical. He's been collecting cards and stuff forever now. And I think he got really lucky with this one pull, didn't he? I think I saw this video where he pulled like a very rare card from like Magic or something. That was very fun. But when you're a millionaire, that's easy. Yeah, definitely. Like, I think in the last video that I watched of him, he said like that he's collecting addictions. Which, you know, you like in terms of like miniatures and stuff. Not miniatures, but like cards and in this case it was League of Legends. And again, yeah, as you said, when you have a little bit more disposable income, it's becomes a little bit less of a hassle, less of a worry. And by the way, too, Fairy, how was it in the studio? Did you guys have a good meeting, I guess? Again, don't want you to disclose anything that is covered by your NDA, but everything good? Everything alright? Are you safe? Okay. We're getting somewhere. Did I paint this in gold? No, I did not. Did I paint anything? No, okay, that thing also not. Did I paint these things? No. Okay. Interesting. I just went to pick up some crew gear. Oh, okay, right. I thought you might have had like a meeting, like a work meeting or something. But okay, that makes sense. Okay. There we go. Did we forget anything? If you forget like a small speck of white, it isn't the end of the world, but don't want to forget anything like serious. Ah! Quite the bad job with the grip of the sword right here. Just want to make sure this is all very clean. And of course, yeah, there's one more thing right up here. Oh, and of course the rune, right. Can't forget about the rune. The Phoenix King and Assyrian don't smile upon people who forget them. There we go. Down here is where we need to focus our attention. Send you an email? Don't share, but that's some of the stuff. Alright, okay. Hang on, let me have a look. Good thing you said don't share. Quickly have a look-see look. Oh! Right. Okay. Okay. Gotcha. And a few of the crew pins we get for each project. I have a lot more, but need a new case. Okay. Alright. Well, thank you so much for sharing with me. That's awesome. That's cool. And now, ooh. Now, you guys can't see it properly, but basically what we have down here... Okay, now you can see it a little bit better. We have the rune of what I still believe to be the Temple of Assyrian. So, from the old world, the highest god of... Hey! I know this is not interesting, but no reason for my camera to fall asleep. Of the old world, like the highest god, the godfather basically of the high elves. And his temple bears the eternal flame of their god, where each Phoenix King has to walk through and prove, like get the approval from their god. If they get the approval, they will survive walking through the flame, their flesh restored, their soul cleansed, and the fire of ambition, you know, lit. If the god though doesn't approve, then they will be singed to ashes. Except from when they have except of course they have very high amounts of plot armor. In that case, they will still get burned to a crisp, but they will survive. And they will get a goofy armor from their mother. And be forever salty about it. Okay. So this is the Temple of Assyrian rune. The rune down here, I'm actually not quite sure. Haven't really seen or used that one a lot. Anything else? I think we are done with the light blue everywhere except for this. Oh no, what am I talking about? Okay. We're not done at all. So we need to, of course, you know, do what we are doing right now, which is this paint the hilt of this sword. Can be a little bit messy. We won't be able to see any of that later on. Of course, we need to be a little bit more careful with the side and, you know, top view. Though, oh, hang on, what just happened? Oh, I missed the animation. What? Ass cheese followed. What a name indeed. Hang on. And Mayos 91 is also followed. In this very minute. Hey yo. Hey yo man. Thank you so much for following. God damn it, I missed it. I just saw the animation fade away as I looked at my screen to see if you guys could see what I was doing. Hey yo, well, how are you doing? I hope you're having a very nice evening / start into your day. I don't know what your time zone might be. And I hope you're enjoying the show. Ass cheese, huh? Great name. And Mayos91. Alright. No worries, man, you were focused on what looks to be a very cool mini. Oh yeah, it is very cool. Hang on, let me quickly show you what we're doing today. We are painting the Light of ELTHARION. One of the coolest miniatures that came out with the Luminev release and is still in the Luminev roster. Here is where we will pick up on right now. And once we're done, he will look like this bad boy. So basically a floating magical armor, one of the cleanest modeling in Games Workshop range. Basically ever. So this was basically the miniature where you were like, okay, Games Workshop is really stepping up their game now. Thank you so much, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Okay. Currently we're just using some very light blue to catch the rim of everything. Okay, that looks amazing, and your paint job made it 10 times cooler. Thank you so much. I'm very glad to hear that. Oh my gosh. Stop. Thank you so much. I'm very glad to hear that. If you guys are interested, I do have a full video going over the whole miniature, nicely edited and, you know, stuff. No, the Nurglings are peak Games Workshop. I mean, the Nurglings are, you know. My favorite is still the Nurgling wearing the Death Guard helmet. That, of course, and of course the crab, if you guys have been in the hobby for like around a year now. The crab, of course, is top tier as well. But yeah, there's a full guide and everything on YouTube, one of my beta videos. And only highly recommend. Sorry, not trying to glaze too much. Oh, that's completely okay. You know, it's always good to hear, man. I like it. And hello, Grim Leahy. Sub to you as well. How are you doing, mate? How is the end of your week, of your work week going? Are you ready to relax and embrace the paints over the week? Whoa! I did a huge mistake. Huge slip up here. Ugh. Actually a little bit unfortunate. We can fix that later though. How are all of you doing? Relaxing has already begun? Great. Control Z, yeah. Oh my gosh. Like, as you might know, I do like study illustration. And so we tend to switch mediums quite a lot. So from digital art to traditional art. And I have had both, where I was like, you know, blowing over a piece of digital art to get like the kernels away, basically. And I also tried to zoom in on a piece of paper, or like pressed the Apple hotkey on a piece of paper to try and reverse a mistake that I did. So yeah. Would be so handy in real life. Very clean, very clean. Okay. But yeah, wow. How are you guys doing this fine evening? Thank you for showing up, showing around. Glad to have you guys here. We also can't forget the belt around his waist, where his tassets are hanging on. Oh, come on. Hey. I need to look down my paint pot. There we go. Ass Cheese is saying, not bad, mate. Waiting for work to end. Alright, can't come sooner. Then on my painting. Ooh. Oh, painting my Norn. So a Norn emissary then. Right. So something from the new Tyranid range. Okay. That creature got its own entire book with Leviathan, basically. Very cool, very cool. Kind of weird a little bit how they established him. Though a very fearsome creature nonetheless. And of course a very cool model as well. So, best of luck with that. Have fun. Tyranid player. First Tyranid player in the audience, I think. Very, very cool. At least that I would know of. Since when are you painting, Ass Cheese? Are you painting since since a little bit longer, or did you find your entry into the hobby with Leviathan, with the starter box that came out back then? Hang on, that wouldn't make much sense now, would it? Yeah. Yes, sir, I am a nit guy looking into AOS. Red people, Storm Boys, and Lizardmen look cool AF. Oh yeah, I definitely have all of them, so... okay, not I necessarily, but my friend Heinrich has. So he painted a bunch of red men in a co-stream sometime around last week, I think. Was it last week? Yeah. God damn, time flies. Glad you approve. Yeah, my friend Heinrich has like a great color scheme found for his red man that make them stand out a little bit more compared to the other guys. And also we have, of course, a Storm Boy as well. This sitting on my desk. Painted last week as well. So yeah, definitely some cool choices. I think with the Stormcast Eternals, you can't really go wrong with, especially with the new release miniatures. You know, the Primaris upgrade for the Stormcast Eternals, basically. Which helped them a lot. Now, for some reason, Games Workshop decided to apply the old Stormcast proportions to the Blood Angels, but that's an entirely different debacle. Yeah. And the Lizardmen, of course, got their own range refresh as well. I don't have any new Lizardmen right now in this room, though I am storing some old... Like, for example, I have an old Slan still made from tin on my shelf, all the way back on the other end on this room. So yeah, great choices all around. I think you'd have like, I think if like, I'd recommend the red people the most, I think. Because they have like the most variety and the most crazy shit you can do. The Stormcast Eternals, they get boring quite quickly. At least for me they did. And I only painted a bunch of them. And the Lizardmen... The Lizardmen also have like a lot of potential as well. Though maybe from, you know, coming from the Tyranids, you might want to have a little bit more of a sophisticated army, which, you know, is a stretch when talking about Skaven. But I hope you know what I mean. A little bit more gunnin' and stabbin'. Or you can do it like me and look for which miniature has like the cheapest miniatures, which faction. I don't know where they would rank there. To be fair, I was looking at getting the Skaven type box set with maybe a cheeky Visix Scour purchase. Ooh. I had a phone call, but I'm back. Glad to have you back, Francois. Yeah, the Skaven Tide box is... so these Skaven all come from the Skaven Tide box as well. So the Grey Seer I just showed. The Skaven Tide box... If you get the Skaven Tide box from a reseller... not a reseller, god no, don't do that. From a third party, that's what I wanted to say. A third party retailer. Then you should get a very good... bang for your buck. It's a very good value for your money. And of course there's Stormcast with them as well. So, you know, win is a win. Also, there's also some terrain in there as well as battle maps and stuff. I unboxed and went over the whole Skaven Tide box with Theinrek together back on YouTube if you're interested in having me and another idiot just blabber about nonsense and unboxing the Skaven, talking about stuff for around 2 hours. Don't worry, looking at Element Games, look like it's 25-30 pounds off. Oh, right. That's good, that's good. Skaven have the best memes, total shitters, love their lore. Skaven are very cool. I love the Skaven as well. I really like their aesthetic as a whole. And their lore is of course wacky as well. That's wrong. Now that... So the thing was, when I tried to make sense of the Skaven type box, back when it came out, I wasn't sure if I could actually recommend it to people or not. Because it was rather expensive, though it also has like 60 miniatures or 70 or something like that. And like cool miniatures as well, definitely. You get a lot of heroes with the Stormcasts. Wasn't quite sure if it was worth the money. And I didn't calculate it now that, you know, all of the miniatures are actually purchasable on the market. But yeah, it should be okay. Should be good. I can definitely recommend the box set in terms of, you know, amount of miniatures that you get and all the stuff. You also get a book with all the rules for different combat patrols and like spearheads and stuff like that. You need to compare elite units' monetary cost versus number of models required for winning versus points. Dark Elf Cold Ones are the best of all. Best of all of these for 5 cavalry, only $35. Yeah. And I think the worst of that would be probably the Chaos Cavalry, where like 3 dudes cost 120 bucks or something like that. So that would definitely be the worst example. When basically I started with 40k, so I played High Elves before, but when I switched over to 40k or started playing that on the side when fantasy was still a thing, the reason I took Astra Militarum was for once I was sick and tired of High Elves not having proper artillery and always getting outgunned by these goddamn dwarves and humans. And so I wanted to be the one gunning for change. And because I took them also because like guardsmen were dirt cheap back then. SG says, to be fair, I'm buying it mainly for Skaven, but the Storm Eternals look cool. Think I might reduce them in D&D, plus I can practice battle damage on them. Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. So, when it comes to battle damage, you can do quite a lot with Stormcast Eternals to make them look rather cool. Okay, it doesn't really get shown up very good here, but that you definitely have some options to try with them. And the Stormcast Eternals, for example, you get like a very cool commander like this guy on Griffin. Or on like a Griffin-y thing, creature, a beast. And you also get like, if you want to reuse him for D&D, that's definitely a good call. Because... Oh, hang on. Ooh. You get a lot of very cool... Ooh, for... Eek. Sorry, one fell down. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Up, up. Ooh. And you get like a lot of cool hero and cultish looking characters as well. Are the Grey Pile of Shame? Yeah, definitely. So I think the most like heroic classic adventurer character is probably this guy here. With his torch and sword out. The half coat and everything. So yeah, reusing them for D&D is definitely a thing. Francois says, I have 50 cold ones, about 5,000 points of old world dark elves. I have the entire range of models. I think it was like $1,200, which is pretty cheap for 5k. Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely true, I think. You got some great deals, man. A true Dark Elven player as well. The day is only getting better and better. Okay, we need some more gold and we need some more... we need some leathery paint. Has the gold already dried in? Yeah, okay. You all think a pack of 50 32 bases for 25 pounds is a deal? Should I take it? 32 millimeters. What's that again? That's roughly this size, right? So, like the size of Brutok here, Brutok's base. I mean that's 50 pence per base, right? Doesn't sound too bad. Not a fan of buying bases in general, but sort of. My Dark are painted as Drow, not classic GW Dark. I mean, the Drow are definitely a lot more interesting than classic GW Dark Elves, because GW Dark Elves are basically just the same as high-end Wood Elves, right? So, completely fine. I think it sounds like a good deal. Yeah, sure. What would you need the bases for, though? Do you have a shortage on bases? Are you switching an old fantasy army over to 40k? Not 40k, AOS? Okay. That's the gold taken care of. Did I really take care of all the gold? A little bit down here. Okay. Transferring my old firstborn marines into a tactical squad, and same with old CSM. Alright, okay, yep, fair enough. I think the deal is quite alright. Kinda hurts to pay 25 bucks for bases, you know, but I think it's fine. I think it's an alright deal. Certainly wouldn't know any better. And at least you get like proper bases and don't have to try and build anything yourself. Okay, so and we need some dark brown for the leather straps, and we are currently, oh wow, it's already 10:30. It's a lot later than I anticipated. I'll have a quick look at how good we're doing, and maybe I'll have to call it a day, though it is so nice. Grim Lake, can you 3D print bases? That's also a good call, though I think at that price point, not quite sure if it makes a huge difference. Could have used black as well, but I'm just going with a very dark brown here. Don't want it to stand out too much. Unfortunately, I don't have a printer, nor personally know anyone who does. Yeah, just in that case, again, it's better than building them yourself. Maybe like cutting them from wood or something. I've seen people do that. I find that to be fair, though, you know, not as nice. It seems like a good deal. Okay. What next? Next is probably the wash, right? Probably. Very likely. I already ordered them anyway, lol. I actually have a couple of DIY wood bases. Oh, right, okay. Well, then you know what what we're talking about in that case. Okay, I think the next thing that I want to do... the gemstones might be a little bit too soon, though. I think we're already good with assembling the mini. Yeah. Can we already assemble the mini? I'll have a... Oh, sorry. I'll have a quick look if there's anything that needs some touch-ups. Maybe here and there. In terms of the armor. Though apart from like these last things, I think we're good of just assembling the miniature. Oh, there's one thing that we forgot. Okay, cool. Then we'll fix that right away. Oh. Now I'm too far zoomed out. Yeah, we need to fix this. All of this. Okay. And the rest should be good to go. Maybe a little bit down here. Oh. So this thing. Basically right now what I'm doing is just clean up, making sure that every part is done, painted precisely as I need it to before gluing it together, because of course gluing the parts together might entail some trouble in terms of maybe fixing mistakes later or actually revealing stuff that wasn't there before. What am I doing? Why is it so out of focus all the time? Sorry. Getting so excited. We can also do the base right now, because why not? We are already in this far. So this small pommel down here, I paint with Baraknar Burgundy. I think I also did the version once where I painted it light blue. It really makes not much of a difference. Just to keep it closer to the original, I'll paint it dark burgundy. Some white spots here, so. Alright. Okay. What else? What else? What else? Was that smart? Yeah, that's okay. Okay. One more thing. Oh, we have quite a lot of people watching. Thank you guys so much for showing up. I hope you guys have a nice weekend. Start into your weekend tomorrow. Okay, now we need some Stegadon scale green, which is actually more bluish than green. But of course, you know, if you paint Lizardman, this will be the perfect base coat and undercoat for your scales. And with this, we just quickly paint the rocks that he's standing on. You know, high elven structures usually are painted with more of a light beige. So, like very sandstone kind of vibes. Because of course they are. Though, in this case I of course really like to paint them like dark for, on the one hand, ELTHARION to stand out more, literally. And on the other hand to, you know, have his foot stand out, as it is very light beige already itself. Ah, yeah. There we go. So, what more questions do I have for you guys? Well, not much. Was there anything in the reveals that you guys really liked? The new miniature reveals that they were a few days ago? I really haven't had a look myself. Of course, I got spoiled via Instagram. Which used to be quite kind of a problem for me and Theinrich, because we of course wanted to have our reactions and our discussions from scratch every time we did these streams. Maybe we'll do one tomorrow. I'm not quite sure how Theinrich's plans, what his plans are like. Have you seen the Gamer's Grass laser cut plans? What? Have you seen the Gamer's Grass laser cut plans? Oh, hang on, from laser cut. No, I'm familiar with the you know, laser cut work, but no, I haven't seen grass. There's laser cut grass? So, wooden stuff? Or are we talking next to each other, basically? I don't know how to translate the saying into English. Gamer's Grass laser cut. So the laser cut that I'm familiar with is a company offering up basically wooden pre-cut structures that you only have to assemble for like wargaming terrain. Am I in the same ballpark with that? Hydraulic. Oh, okay, it's cheap viewer bot. Okay. Gamergrass is the company. They make laser cut plants for basing miniatures. Laser cut plants though, which material are they? So I'm familiar with the process, but I'm like only know of like wooden terrain, like buildings and stuff. They have grass now? They laser cut my grass? So to answer your first question, no, I'm not familiar with them at all. That sounds dope though. Sorry. Yeah. I sneezed the word sneeze. I'm becoming a Pokemon. I don't know, I ordered a bunch of couple of days ago. Alright. Well, hopefully I'll learn more when you tell me about it. When we meet again. Which I hope we will. And Yeah, then I'll find out. I'll have a look online though. I'll have a look online first. I'm always on the lookout for some cool basing options. Especially now that I painted Lady Olinda and really don't have anything. No, it's big plants. Oh, right, okay, like agave, elephant ear, banana plant. Oh, right, okay, so stuff like that. Sounds intriguing. Like, my... when it comes to bases, I kinda suck. Like, not gonna lie. I really suck when trying to decorate bases for my miniatures. So I'm very thankful for what, for example, Games Workshop is doing with ELTHARION right here, for example, or like Raduca has an amazing base. Laukavai is also not bad. So every time Games Workshop like makes the miniatures with like a detailed base, I'm very glad, happy about that, because I again suck at doing it myself. Now we need some technical Stirland mud. That's basically just a viscous dark brown with some grains of sand mixed into it. And because this already sounds bad, I highly recommend you use brushes that are either easily washable or already past their prime. Which one do I use? Which one do I use? I think the first one from before. It's easily washable. I suck at bases too, lol. But I really want to push my limits on this Elder project. Ooh. I mean, I kind of need to do 2 for the projects that I'm planning for next year. So yeah, tell me how it tell me how it looked, how they felt. Maybe I'll look into it more. Because again, I kind of have to. Gonna have to get better at that. Oh, I based my miniatures usually with sand, don't I? Shit, I didn't do that today. Came a little bit late home. And then basically had to jump right into streaming. If I wanted to stick true to my schedule. I'm very happy that I posted my schedule on Twitch. Because otherwise I think I would have just said, well, I'm not feeling it today. But now, you know, it's more like working a second job. Which of course this is like not in the monetary sense, but you know what I mean. It's always good to have some like rules set up. So if you know the structures get a little bit of this brownish dirt on them, it's really not that big of a deal. After all, this is supposed to be a little bit more weathered. They are literally in ruins. And it only, you know, adds to the feeling of the whole thing. Maybe I have to add some sand post paint job. Though that I will do off camera, I think. I still want to get him to the wash stage today, so we won't finish him today. Simply because we will need, like, the last step for today will be to wash him. And after that, you know, of course we could spend some time on Yeltsin Darok the Witch Hunter while this guy dries, but it's already 11 PM roundabout for me. So I want to try to catch some of my buddies in Discord. Haven't done that in quite a long time. So, by the way, next week is... no, this week, this Sunday is the first Advent. So, yeah, have fun celebrating that. Another take... they take paint. If you want to put washes on them, they're kinda posable, so I don't think they're a paper product. They come pre-painted. Okay. But it might be thin brass. Oh, yeah, right. Thin brass might actually be it, yeah. That makes a lot of sense. I've seen some people using like Finbrass for dioramas to make their plans and stuff like that, from scratch of course. That looked always very, very cool. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, definitely immediately need to wash this brush once I'm done with all this. And of course some Xantry dust for the plant, for the wheat. Maybe I'll do a part 2 of this actually, because there is still quite a lot of stuff that we need to do to finish him. In terms of detailing, in terms of highlighting. There are some cool effects that we need to do with his swords, which of course I want to have very magical looking. And maybe we'll go a little bit crazy with... Maybe we'll actually do the base on camera. Maybe. Let's not get ahead of ourselves though. I used to do that too much. So these last blades of grass. And then we're good. And then we actually did finish the entire Light of Eltharion, the entire speed painting process. Oh wow, okay, hang on, in 3 hours? Damn. Of strict painting? Holy shit, my speed paint job sucks. What the fuck? No! This should have taken no longer than, like, maybe 2 hours. Oh no. Well. It is a character model and stuff like that, yeah. The thing is, the reason I oftentimes, you know, call my guides speed painting guides is mostly because, for one, I think they are quite effective. We are using time and resources to the best of our abilities as possible. And honestly, on the other hand, I don't even know what to call them otherwise. Painting guides? That doesn't sound interesting. Speed painting for the elderly? Good one. I think back to your wyvern painting. Alright, okay, come on, man. The wyvern was like an outlier. I have no idea what took so long. And the wyvern also only took so long because we literally took an entire day to build the free company, the free guild command core. Though, yeah, it took a little bit long. Tutorials, huh? Maybe. I need to work a little bit more on my branding. The brink of branding. The branding of art. So. Do I forget anything? Am I currently forgetting anything? I don't think I am. I don't think I am. Am I? The base is completely done. Oh yeah, hang on. The upper parts up here are earth as well. Hang on. Speed painting for the elderly. See this hairline? This already tells you, like, does this look like 23? No. Looks like beginning of, like, mid-40s. It's already bad enough how it is. Oh. So this is the entire dirt up this column. And that should be it. should really be it. Yeah. The rest is just a matter of, you know, detailing and washing and stuff. So let me have a look at the guide. I'll have a look through everything. Just you wait, lol. Oh no, man. Yeah, let's have a look at my guide. We did the hair. Is this already the wash? No way. No. Okay. Now, this is the stuff, the base, the stuff, and then we assemble it. Okay, easy. Listening to myself, you know, the voices in my head give great advice. We now just assemble the miniature, so just the torso and the shoulders, basically. Where is my glue? There it is. And after that, we basically call it a day. No, hang on. Yeah, we need to wait for the glue to dry. We will call it a day. We've been streaming for 1 hour longer than expected. Is that true? Yeah, roughly 1 hour. Would have been 1 hour if I would have been punctual. Ooh, no, oh no, oh. Okay. And now we basically assemble this bad boy. So. Looking good. Operation was a complete success. Yup. Now we only need to wait for the glue to dry. But, you know, as you can see, ELTHARION is basically completely done now. Next time, when we see one another, we will get him from this stage on the left to this stage on the right. So, nicely washed, nicely detailed, very luminescent. And yeah, that way. Yeah, we made some very good progress today. Basically finished the entire thing, at least the speed painting portion. Thank you so much for everybody who showed up. It was a blast. We have had, like, on times we had like 8 viewers across 2 platforms, which is not shabby at all. Which I'm very happy about. Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for all the people that followed. And thanks, of course, for the people who show up every time I'm painting. And, you know, keep the chat alive. Keep me company. Thank you very much. Have a nice rest of your day, guys. You know, nice rest of your day, nice rest of your evening. Have a great weekend. Have a great 1st of Advent. And we'll see one another. If not tomorrow... Hang on. If not tomorrow, then we'll see each other again on Tuesday from 7 till 9. Bye bye. Have a nice weekend, guys.